I'm so proud of you for keeping track of kind of what percentage of the time is this happening? Because it also helps you in a day where maybe you are red, maybe you got tripped up or you manually, got into some things that maybe you shouldn't have. I think it helps to understand, hey, this red trade, as long as I followed my rules, is part of my, whatever, 20%, 30%, 40% of losses. And it's hard and it hurts, especially like on a catastrophic day where it like cost you an account or it cost you a payout or it cost you, something, you had one more day to get to this next level before a rebuild or something. That day sucks, obviously, but it's part of it. And if more people could see that, I think we would all be doing this, except exponentially.
And something else I'm focusing on right now, I still have my voice after 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'm trying to work on minimizing stop losses and especially the amount of a stop loss. So now, as soon as price crosses the 50% take profit line, I move my stop loss just like $3 or $4 or $5 within profit.
That
So that
might
way,
be a little bit
if it
close.
does reverse, then I don't lose anything.
So I'm on the 15-minute now. I could actually do one other thing. Make this 15. We'll make it 12 actually. That's more than enough room. So I'm on the 15 just so I have some data to actually work with. I'm going to go over here to the, well, looks like we got a pretty good exit. And that's the whole point of going for 10 points. It's hard sometimes to go for 10 points when you see it go much more, but man, on a moment like that, it's nice. So here, I'm going to take off the MACD and just look. I'm going to try to look for one that's got a bit more of a move. We might not get one. So this is pre-market. It goes 50%. I'd much rather you, if it was me. No, again, you have to do what's best for you based off of your psychology, your trading, your time, your whatever. But I'd much rather you either A, get out of the trade, okay? Or get out of some of the trade, then move your stop loss into break even here. Because obviously on this day, all you got for that sell side was 50% of the range. Now to the upside, you got, what is that, 150% of the range, give or take, from that last one. So on that one, of course, it's a good example. But even then, you come into here, and before you maybe cash out, you tap back into this where you would have got knocked out. So for me, and you guys have seen my trailing settings, for a long time on Tradeovate, I had that setting to where like I would be in the trade and it would go to break even after 20 points, for example. And too much percent of the time was it coming back down, wicking me out at that couple point profit, whatever that looks like, and then taking off. So for me, one of the things that we're coding into the automation is when it gets to X percentage of the range, maybe instead of locking profit, you just minimize loss. So instead of having the full range be your stop loss, it would be like half of the range be your stop loss. Because then you're still cutting your loss in half without necessarily risking your, getting knocked out. Because even TradeZella is pretty big on the whole, hey, they're so loving with their little alerts, but they're like, you can downgrade that win rate to increase your, we don't need to have this huge win rate, basically. Is something that they're pretty big on. And even in TradeZella is just that high win rate isn't necessarily great trading. And that's something hard for me to kind of get more comfortable with. Much harder. But that's just my 2 cents. It's up to you what you want to do. Because in this big candle, there's a very good chance that you hit this line, pop back down, and then pop back up. Because this is live price action that's probably going like this.
That happens a lot. Even on 15, it happens.
Because look, we get to 50, and depending on how tight you have that, you kind of lock some profit. It knocks you out, and then it goes. This one for sure, it knocks you out. It's just, to me, and this is all buys. There's no sell in that. This is a sell. You got your 50% target, so you may as well get out at 50% versus lock in at 50%. And we've seen that on the data that we've showed too, like from the classes. If I took this trade and this trade, and I let's say I locked this one at break even, so I got my maybe 2 to 4 points out of it, and I locked this one at break even, I got my 2 to 4 points out of it. In a basket of 2 or 3 of these quote locked trades, it's equivalent to if I had just taken this and taken my 10 points, right? If I had just taken this and got out at 50%, that's the equivalent.
I also had the idea of just using the 50% as a take profit on all of them, but
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea or not. And that's why I missed out on this morning. I used that and I made 80 bucks and then it kept going up. I could have made 3 or 4 times that, but
See, and you just never know. But like we said at the beginning of this call, so no trade on gold. We did come down below. We needed it to close bearish on that 2-minute time frame. We did not close bearish below this candle. What was it? This candle we needed to close below. We were turning bearish, but never closed bearish. So no trade. And
yeah,
had a break, but nothing else.
I just entered a buy on 15 on that one.
Okay, nice.
It just crossed. But what I don't like is when it just crosses and just barely crosses with the wick and then shoots back down. But what can you do?
Yep. That is it. Remember, that's why you're looking at this information over a period of time. And again, win rates are hard because of course we want to see what's your average win rate with this strategy, with this indicator? Everyone wants to hear something like 90% or 100% or 80% or 70%. And I loved that for swing trading. Let me back up. I loved that I could average high 80s, 90s on swing trading. But remember how much room I was giving that trade, how different that is, how much time it had to play out. I think in futures, because I can't give this that much time to just play out. Obviously, the win rate needs to come down. But for scalping, I don't think I'm targeting that high of a win rate anymore. I'm targeting if I can average up 1.5 to 1, which I'm not there. I'm at like a 1.3 most months to 1. And that's, remember, with all those break even trades too. I'm doing pretty good. If I can average a 1.5 to 1 and maybe 65%, I would be very happy with just that.